Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at private investigators share the most interesting stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. A mother hired me to look into the new boyfriend of her daughter who was way older than she was. She said there was just something off about him, and she was right. They broke up in the middle of the case, so it got cut short, and I never got to the bottom of everything. But he had like 5 different current addresses, some apartments and some private homes, all in different cities. And he had multiple cars registered in different states, of which none of the plates were coming back as registered to him or a family member. In fact, one of his trucks was registered to a dead couple he had no affiliation with. Also ran a vehicle sighting report, and one of his cars was all over the place in like 3 different states over the course of a year, spotted parked in the driveways of random homes he had no seeming affiliation with. Very weird. I still wonder what I would have found if I kept digging. That's so creepy. He's a serial killer. Yes, that's what he was. He killed that couple and stole their car. He's a car thief. Man, if I was this person, I would just continue on with the digging because I'm too invested already. Like, oh, you don't want the investigation anymore? Well, I do. I want to dig for my own curiosity. Jeez, that's kind of creepy. Right? He had like multiple cars and none of them were in his name. And they're all around different cities, different states. Dude, he's doing some sus stuff. Worked with a private investigator every once in a while as a second car for surveillance. Surprised me how many people live off lies. Con artist types and scammers. Rental scams were very common. Employee theft also very common. Found that employees from a popular drink company were selling pallets of products on the side. The scam was pretty elaborate to account for the missing product. Couple cases of husbands who traveled a lot for work had multiple families, as in another set of wife and kids. Found that a young rich woman's fiance not only didn't go to the college he aimed, but actually had no degree at all, no job at all, no income at all. Dude would leave the house in a suit and tie and spend most of the day in a diner reading newspapers. Crazy how long he lived off her without her knowledge. This literally reminds me of the Korean movie Parasite. You know, just living off of people. Living your life as a freaking lie and they have no idea. That's freaking scary. Honestly, anyone could be lying to you right now and you wouldn't even know, even your partner. See, you can never know too much about someone. Every single time, you'll definitely find something new about someone every single time. Way back in 1998, we surveilled a house for an older guy who thought his younger wife was cheating on him. I wasn't on this shift, but heard the same story from everyone there. They wired the house and waited in the van behind the back fence. Guy leaves on a business trip. Lady gets dropped home by the chauffeur. He carries her bags into the bedroom. Suddenly, he slaps her hard across the face, knocking her back onto the bed. One of my coworkers jumped out of the van thinking she's about to get hurt. Before he gets to the sliding glass door, he hears over the radio from the other guy watching the video feed, "Come on back, she likes it." She then proceeded to also bang the pool boy. When my boss informed the client, he just asked how much. Back then, camera equipment was expensive, and we rented it. He just wrote a check for $10K on the spot. My boss checked in with him later and said the old guy had a private collection of VHS tapes. Wow! The plot twist. I mean, I was already expecting that she was cheating on him, but then I was like, oh my god, what if she wasn't getting cheated on him? What if she was just getting abused? But she was cheating on him. Oh my goodness. The husband had like private tapes of her cheating on him. So like that was the evidence kind of thing. That's kind of sus too, you know? What if he was into that? I was a fraud investigator for a finance company. I went to interview a small business who we had lent it to. Got there first thing in the morning, walked in and had just introduced myself when a dude walked out of the back with a black clean sack. He got a shock I was there, dropped the clean sack, and bundles of cash just fell out and onto the floor. Said quickly I wasn't there for that, and they needed to pay for the equipment they had secured and not paid a cent for. It was paid before I got back in the office. Oh, was it paid directly from the sack that fell? This is some like cartoon shit, you know? Man is just holding a freaking sack with money in it and he drops it and all the cash flies out. What the heck? I was living in Tokyo. Someone posted an ad looking for someone to do some private investigating work. I was broke and interviewed for a job despite not knowing anything about private investigation. A Japanese woman who spoke good English had a crush on a white guy. She wanted someone to investigate where he hung out, then befriend him and then introduce him to her. I declined the job, but later on she hired me to do some marketing work for her. Unsurprisingly, one of the worst marketing clients I ever had, purely because she didn't respect boundaries. I would warn the white guy and be like, you have somebody crazy on your back right now, be careful. Be careful. Watch your back all the time. Heard of this story about a girl from my uni before. She started suspecting her dad having an illicit affair. So her friends decided to channel their inner Nancy Drews and started following the dad around. After a couple of tries, they eventually found him meeting up with the same older woman repeatedly. She was devastated. One day, she decided that she was going to confront the two of them, but didn't want to make it into a public spectacle. She decided to follow them to the woman's place. She was so confused because she was following them back to her own house. Turns out the dad bought the mistress a house in the street right behind theirs. Dad also has another daughter 2 years younger than her and named the daughter the exact same name as her. What the hell? He named them the same name so he wouldn't need to be confused kind of thing. I bet that's why he did it. That's why he named them the same name. So he wouldn't ever get the names wrong. Buying your affair partner a freaking house just like a street away from yours. Oh my God. How do you even react to that? Your dad has like a whole nother family. I mean, now you're going to be thinking, wait, who's the main family, right? That's freaking crazy. But then again, I've heard of a similar story like this too, but that person had like 3 affair partners and he bought 3 separate houses a street away from each other. And every single time he would go away, he would tell his wives that he was just going to go on a business trip, but he was actually just visiting the other wife a street away. Like, what the heck? How do people have the time to do that? And the money to do that? What the hell? I'm obviously not a detective or anything, but when my best friend got matched with this girl for an arranged marriage, something about her felt off. Nothing dramatic, just a gut feeling after meeting her once. She was weirdly flirty with me the first time we met, and I couldn't shake the vibe that she wasn't taking things seriously. Me and another friend discussed about it and started casually keeping an eye out. Our offices were in the same area, so we'd see her around now and then. Eventually, we got in touch with someone from her workplace and started hearing she was supposedly having a thing with her boss. And yeah, the boss is married. We didn't want to jump to conclusions, but the stories kept adding up. One weekend, we got a tip and followed the tip, and yes, caught them at a beach resort 150 kilometers from the city. Saw them hanging out by the pool, holding hands and staying in the same suite. All this was happening while both families were planning the engagement, buying outfits, booking venues, the works. It was messy. We gathered the photos, messages, proof from the hotel guy by giving him some bribes, etc., and then shared it with my friend. At the next meeting with her family, he calmly showed them everything. The marriage was called off. Not proud of playing spy, but I'd do it again if it means saving someone close from walking into something like that. What an amazing friend! Seriously, we all need friends like this. You know, they have your back. I love that. But jeez, that is sad for him. But also, this is why I'm not a fan of like arranged marriages. I think it's just sad for both parties because they don't even like each other in the first place, right? But they still have to get together because of family. And I think that's messed up. My work partner and I were watching a guy who was cheating on his wife. We were at a restaurant where they were eating dinner together. I snuck over to his car to put a GPS tracker underneath the fender. At the same time, there was another private investigator team working to put a private investigator tracker on the girlfriend's car. We never made contact with the other team, but we sort of gave each other a wink and just a nod. Turns out they worked at the same hospital and were each cheating on their spouses with each other, but were also cheating on each other with multiple other people. It was a hot mess and a lot to keep track of. Jeez, well yeah. If someone is cheating on their partner, they're probably going to cheat on you too. But man, being a private investigator, that seems so fun. If you like the drama, that's the job for you. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!